Till we find a game to watch.
I mean, Manu and Buckwheat are underway. So okay, we cannot observe the Queen versus Rakano, so let's just go to Manu and Buckwheat.
Yeah,
Observe
okay.
Manu S.
Yeah, sure. I don't actually have Manu on friends list. Do you?
I do.
All right. Then I'll just be on the Buckwheat side.
Okay. There we go. So let's see this yet. Okay, let's see this Yeti party. Okay, so they just started.
Gameplay is Hoga Biladade, according to Google Translate.
Okay, so Manu is leading 1-0.
Okay.
So Manu is
brackets.
Is looking at a hand of Seed of Wisdom, Huru Banner, Initiate, Acolyte, Sirah, Titan Party. So he is looking at a wonderful curve here. If he can just manage to not get his Initiate silenced. So picks up a Seek Power. So he's going to go Initiate, Banner, Seek for a Time Sigil. And now he's looking in terrific shape as he's just going to curve out.
So Buckwheat opts to silence the Initiate over playing a Awakened Student, which is interesting. He could have played Awakened Student into Valkyrie Enforcer the next turn for the silence,
Yeah,
but I guess he wants to cut off the turn 3 Obelisk.
Yeah, I guess his idea is you just want to silence that Initiate as soon as possible, because it's just gonna get worse and worse up the curve. You know, Titan, Party, you know, activate Seraph a turn early. You have to deal with it eventually. So he prefers to just bite the bullet and seems to have. No, okay, so he's on the draw. So develops a student and is answered immediately by Sandstorm Titan. So here comes a second Awakened Student. So Buckwheat is, you know, on the fabled double student opener. But this Sandstorm Titan is just growling at him and saying, nope, you're not passing go. So the Amber Acolyte is going to pick up another Time Sigil, and Manu is just going to swing in with this Sandstorm Titan.
I mean, I think you have to make this trade. Like, you're never going to draw enough Obelisks that this Titan isn't going to trade for a student. And if you wait long enough, the students will just eat the Titan.
Right. Okay,
so what does Manu have in hand?
Is getting out ahead of the ball, and is going to Desert Marshal this second Awakened Student.
Does he have any more follow-up? Because Buckwheat is down to just an Enforcer and a Desert Marshal.
Seraph and Scouting Party.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good hand.
Picks up a Primal Sigil, so now we're going to see the party started. Okay, let's get this party started.
I do love the Scouting Party VO. It's truly exquisite.
Yep.
Okay, so Buckwheat draws an Obelisk here, but opts to go Valkyrie Enforcer instead of Desert Marshal plus Obelisk. I actually like Obelisk plus Desert Marshal more, because then you don't have to trade away any of your guys for these Yeti Spies.
So, Manu can just opt to swing in here, and does, saying, okay, you can eat my Yetis, and I'm going to jam 7 damage. So, one card, kill your Acolyte and jam 7, and then develop Seraph into an initiative. But this Seraph is not going to be able to escape the Desert Marshal. And there's the Obelisk.
Oh.
And an initiative. So Buckwheat having a monster of a turn. And that Valkyrie Enforcer is just... It might continue beating down.
Lothos is just asking me if somebody's going to snipe him if he enables this, but I don't think David would snipe him.
No, I don't think David would snipe him. So Manu rips a Kothon, which I'm sure he's he's going to he's going to play. But first, he wants to get this giant swing in. So just sacrifices his scouting party
to push through. How much is this? 12 damage.
So 11.
And then a Kothon.
And then activated Kothon.
Alright, well, with this Vanquish, Manu doesn't actually have good attacks here. Like, if he attacks with everything, he only gets through for 4. Nope, oh, never mind. He gets through for lethal. Xenonovelist, good card.
Xenonovelist, very good card.
Alright, let's see if we can hop into this Lothus David match here. Does anyone happen to know what the score is?
Okay, they are 1-1 sideboarding now.
Okay, so this is game 3 and they are tied.
Yep, let's go to Dave. Are you spectating? I'm spectating David. Are you spectating Lothus?
Correct.
Okay, so David has a hand of 2 Silver Wings, 2 Vanquish, and a Protect.
Okay, so no weapons to go on the Silverwing?
Correct.
Well, Lothus has a pretty good draw here. So he missed turn 1 and an awkward turn 2, but now he's going to get to play Outlaw and Ronin into double Bandit Queen, and then he has a Rapid Shot as his last card. So
oh boy.
I think that if David doesn't find a weapon for the Silverwing Familiar, he is going to get schlocked.
Oh boy, yeah, turn 4 Queen. Turn 4 Queen is always brutal. Level 13 David knows there's nothing he can do, you know, with a Silverwing yet. So this is often the rough part of playing Volcano Plate, when you're just playing these 3-power 1-1s. And Lothus is gonna say, "End of the fun, friend."
Yeah, this is so. David is gonna have to chump block next turn. It's just a turn 5 kill.
Level 13 David finds a Spirit Guide, so he's going to. He might mentor his Tinker Overseer instead. Yep, mentors the Overseer, swings in with the Silver Wings, gets that nice red health. And the Spirit Guide will hopefully... Nope! There's another Queen.
Yep, so that's actually lethal even if he blocks a Queen. Exactly 13. So the smooth turn 5 curve there. Double Bandit Queen, you're never beating that.
Hashtag just Stone Scar things.
Yeah, there's a reason this deck has been tier 1 for basically the entirety of Eternal's existence.
Yeah, and why so many other decks were sacrificed on its altar.
Yeah. That last turn he even drew an unnerfed Champion of Chaos there. It was a 5/5 in his hands.
Rest in peace, Stone Scar Mauler and Stone Scar Midrange. Sacrificed so that Stone Scar aggro didn't blast everyone to the moon.
Alright, so that puts Lothus up 2-1, and they're hopping right back in. So David's back is now against the wall. Oh, so Lothus's opening hand is 3 Fire Sigils, 2 Pyronite, Obliterate. Oh no, okay, he gets to redraw it. I thought he had redrawn into a hand of only fire, so he redraws into a normal hand.
13 David keeps Double Seal, Justice Sigil, with 2 Champions of Glory, and an Enforcer and a Torch, which are the exact cards you want against a Stone Scar aggro deck.
Yeah, especially that Torch is so important early on.
Oh, definitely. So we'll see if Lothus elects to play a naked Champion of Glory here. Uses his Diplomatic Seal for Justice rather than holding onto it for a potential second fire.
So it looks like he didn't want to get his Champion of Glory killed by Avara's favor, and that's why he made this play?
Definitely not. That is absolutely brutal. Luckily, everything is going well for level 13 Dave. He picks up the Fire Sigil and will develop the Silverwing Familiar here. Next turn, looking at a potential play of Double Champion or a Hammer of Might if he draws it.
Wait, so he has 4th power in hand?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so this is a very good draw from level 13 David. Lothus now deciding between Instigator or Rakano Outlaw. But either way, he doesn't have any more power in hand for his Obliterate, Soulfire Drake,
and
Rapid
level
Shot.
14 David rips an auric rune hammer right off the top, and that's going to come in and bonk this kind of well on the head. And time for some life.
Pretty brutal. Okay, so Lothus does pick up an Oni Ronin, so he at least gets to play 2 units here if he wants to. Otherwise, he can just play a Champion of Chaos, but I don't think you want to play Champ into the Auric Runehammer.
Oh, definitely not.
Whoa. Okay, so I guess he wants a Rapid Shot to pop the bird's Aegis?
No, he wants to sacrifice the Oni Ronin to the Hammer Gods.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I would rather the Oni Ronin die to it than the Instigator. Just 'cause the Instigator is a much bigger threat.
Now, double champion, depleted C with an Enforcer as the last card in hand.
Lothus draws a Treachery for turn. Interesting pick. What do you think about that?
I'm not quite sold on that card because at some point it becomes useless quickly in aggro versus aggro, and then you lose the tempo from spending 2 power to not affect the board.
Yeah, that I think I like it in some matchups, like against like the Xenon deck that we saw, but in this matchup I don't like it at all. Oh wow, this is brutal from David. There's no way that a Stonescar deck can come back from this sort of deficit on board.
Yeah, Lothus fell behind early on, and now is in all sorts of dire straits as he can't block these Champions of Glory, and he's taking 13 damage here.
Just draw a torch, put him out of his misery. Let's move to game 5.
Yep.
Jumping Champion of Glory with Instigator. That's never a good place to be.
Oh, that is a terrible place to be.
I can't think of a card that's like he's not playing Stray into Shadow, so I can't think of a card.
No, Stonescar does not have a way out from this because both decks are full on going forward, and as you can see, this is why Treachery is useless because if you're ahead on board, you don't need the Treachery. If you're behind on board, you also don't need the Treachery. You don't want the Treachery.
And playing it puts you behind on board because you didn't play a unit.
Right, exactly.
So maybe he just played that to show that he had in his deck, and now he's gonna board it out. The old mind games.
Maybe, but you should never board it in. Like Sabotage against Rakano is a maybe. Treachery against Rakano, I can understand the idea being, you only have 1 unit and several weapons in hand. I torched your first unit, then I treachery your second unit, then you draw a bunch of weapons, and you look like a goofball sitting with an unplayable hand. I do not like that philosophy. I think it's optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, those are both just brutal draws. Like, you got to see like what a Rakano deck looks like when it works, and what a Stonescar deck looks like when it works.
Yeah. Yeah, this matchup is a classic, and it's a classic for its brutality.
Alright, looks like their game 5 are hopping in here.
Okay.
Lothus almost certainly going to redraw this hand. It only has 1 power.
Yeah, that's an instant redraw. Level 13 David looking at 4 power, double Finest Tower, and Enforcer. I would ship that immediately. Opens with a much better hand of turn 1 Oni Ronin with 2 Spirit Guides and a Hammer of Might.
So Lothus has turn 1 Oni Ronin with Vara's Favor and Rakano Outlaw. So he's going to have a solid start, but it looks like he might flood out with 5 power already.
Ooh, wow. That sounded like a great start until you said that he has 5 power effectively in the hand. But luckily he'll be able to remove this Oni Ronin, but he needs to desperately draw action if he's hoping to get into this game because level 13 David picks up a 3rd Spirit Guide. Oh, wow.
Jeez.
So he's going to develop this Oni Ronin, and then he has another Justice Sigil in hand, 3 Spirit Guides, and a Hammer of Might. So Lothus really needs to make some hay here.
Alright, so Lothus picked up a Rapid Shot and a Pyro Knight over his first 2 draws, which are good ones. Like, that'll get him through the first Spirit Guide. Assuming he doesn't Rapid Shot here. Rapid Shotting here would turn out poorly for him against these Spirit Guides.
You do not burn the Rapid Shot here.
Yep, and he agrees. I mean, he's in the semifinals for a reason. He knows how to play his deck.
Right. Right. Yeah, so level 13 David essentially has to play an activated
Oh,
right mage power.
Lothus rips a 7/7 Impending Doom. Like, so he started off with 5 power, but now he's just drawing all the perfect curve.
Well, Stone Scar does Stone Scar things.
I kind of like not attacking and just playing Doom. Yeah, and Lothus agrees.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't attack because you're going to give your opponent 1 life and lose 1 unit. There's no justification.
Well, I mean, like, as opposed to using the Rapid Shot. Because, like, his hand now is Shadow Sigil, Rapid Shot, Stone Scar Banner.
Okay, so still... So he's not flooded out yet.
Yep, I like
Because
this
he has
attack.
the
You get to
Pyro
use
Knight.
Rapid Shot here, and then next turn you get to Ultimate Pyro Knight with the Sigil left in your hand.
Yep, leave it all on the, let it all out. Don't leave anything on the table. Or rather, put everything on the table.
The old sports coach, leave it all on the field type thing.
Yep.
You're just gonna go rest at home all day after this, so you might as well give it all.
Yep.
And by rest at home, I mean top deck and obliterate, of course. Okay, so if you're level 13 David here, do you attack with the Spirit Guide?
No. Well, oh, yeah, sure, because he has another Spirit Guide on deck. So, he can attack with this one for free. And then play another one.
So that means the Outlaw can't attack? Jeez, then Lothus draws a Bandit Queen? Oh my god.
Oh, that's gonna be brutal.
This has been an absurd draw. He just drew, like,
This is a fun, friend.
a 2 and a 1-drop for turn 3, then an Impending Doom, then a 6th power for his Pyro Knight, then a Bandit Queen?
Yep. How? Okay, level 13 David picks up a crucial torch. He absolutely must torch this Pyro Knight here because he's looking at all sorts of death and destruction.
Does he have any more removal? Because if he doesn't, he has to attack with Spirit Guide to not die to Impending Doom, and then he also has to play another blocker.
Tower, a bird, and a hammer of might in hand, so he cannot develop all of that.
Okay, so Torch plus Bird, though, keeps him alive for 1 turn?
Torch plus Bird is his only recourse. Well, let's see. He can Torch. Yeah, he can't just leave the Spirit Guide back because then the Doom just bashes him over the head. So this is looking all sorts of bad because if you attack, you're just going to get slammed on a crackback. If you don't attack, the Doom is just going to say, "I eat your bird."
Yeah, this attack means you're chumping with Bird.
Yes.
Jeez, draws a Champion of Chaos. This draw has been gas.
That's pure gas. So Stone Scar just getting to 5 or 6 and then just teeing off on you is a brutal place to be.
Yeah, Lothus still at
Now the
16.
champion
He was just
of
on the offensive this whole time.
Yep.
Like, even Vanquish doesn't do anything here.
So David picks up a Tinker Overseer and is now looking at all sorts of brutal death staring down at him. He's behind on life, behind on field. Not a place you want to be with Rakano. And a Sabotage is just going to take out either a Finest Hour or a Hammer of Might here.
So you probably just like Finest Hour your 3/3.
Yeah, just to defend one last turn and make a last stand.
I mean, yeah, he has to draw like power into Harsh Rule in 1 draw step, and like Harsh Rule isn't even in his deck.
I'm not sure if I like this attack. Let's see if Lothus were to swing the whole board, like a champion would trade off and effectively do no damage. In fact,
Well, if he swings at the Queen, the Spirit Guide gets to block that, which is like basically makes it so the champ does no damage.
right.
And then he lives at 1.
Lothus is just gonna go for the A space and say, okay,
So
you can block some other unit.
Yeah, it does 2 extra damage. And gets a war cry at the cost of losing a bandit queen, which is like, whatever. Or if he blocks the champion of chaos, he takes 5 from that.
Right.
Yeah, he dies if he does that.
Yeah, so you absolutely cannot do that. So now he is at 1 with a spirit guide against 2 vanquished targets and picks up Rokano Outlaw. That's going to be all she wrote.
Yeah, so Lothus advancing to the finals.
Lothus advancing to the finals. And on the other side of the bracket, Manu has 3 owed Buckwheat. You can't beat the deck builder at his own deck.
All right, so we'll have TJP Obelisk against Burn Queen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So interestingly, Lothus in his sideboard has